Okay, this is problem number 6 from the midterm review. So it has an equal sign in here. Anyway, here it goes. I did post the answer for you, I think, and if I didn't yet, I will. But the bottom line is, can you do it? And shoot, what does it actually say? I believe it actually says write in such a way that there's no. Yeah. So that it no longer contains rational expressions, which is a fancy way of saying fractions. There we go. And I need to get rid of these fractions in here, but I can't get rid of them because the way you clear a fraction is by multiplying. According to PEMDAS, I can't multiply until I have first taken care of the parentheses and the exponents. Now, there's nothing I can do inside the parentheses because I cannot add x and y. They're different variables, and I cannot divide. However, I can deal with the exponent, which is step 2 of PEMDAS, so I'm going to do that. And what you need to be very, very comfortable with is if I told you that a, if I was asking you what is a over b squared, you would have to know that that really means a squared over b squared, that's the same thing. So when I have x plus y squared over 3 squared, what I really have is x plus y quantity squared over 3 squared. That was scary. Plus xy, which doesn't change, and that equals x minus y quantity squared over 2 squared. And yes, I forgot to write the square root of the 3 because it matters. And then I'm not going to lose the 3x. So I've got all that. Another thing you need to be really, really good at is expanding binomials, x plus y, even if they don't have numbers in them. So you should know. And if you're good at this, fast forward, you're done. But if you're not comfortable with this, that's okay. Make sure you learn it. I've got x plus y squared equals x plus y times x plus y. And I will do the old FOIL thing. So I've got first, outside, inside, last. And the first will give me an x squared. The outside will give me an xy, and the inside will give me an xy. So that is 2 of them, 2xy. And the last will give me a y squared. So I'm just going to write that over here. I've got x squared plus 2xy plus y squared all over 3 squared, which is 9. And the xy doesn't change yet. The equal sign doesn't change. And it's going to be over 4 plus 3xy. I just need to expand this binomial. Same stuff, different day. X minus y quantity squared equals x minus y. And this is the same exact thing. As a matter of fact, sometimes in Algebra 1, when they teach it to you, they ask you to memorize these two. I don't particularly see the point. I get memorized difference of squares. But that's a different thing. So anyway, if I do this, it's the same exact thing. X squared for my first, y squared for my last, and that is a positive y squared because a negative times a negative is a positive. But my inside is negative xy and my outside is negative xy. So what I've got is x squared, and they're both negatives now. Negative 2xy, and negative times a negative is a plus y squared. So that's that. That's cool. There's a clicker on the pen. I don't know what it does yet, but I will figure it out. So what I have on top of this fraction is x squared minus 2xy plus y squared. Now, at this point, you should be fine. If you're not, it's because it's so ugly. And I encourage you, do not be afraid of ugly math. You're quite capable of it. It's just, you're not, it's new. Human beings are afraid of new because back in the caveman days, if you walked out of the cave and saw something new, it probably ate you. So new is scary and bad, but you guys should be fine. We're not in the cave anymore. So I need to clear the 9 and the 4 from the bottom. I could do them one at a time. I could multiply every term by 9, and then I could multiply every term by 4. Or I could get fancy like I used to in the 7th grade, and I would find the lowest common multiple. And the lowest common multiple of 9 and 4 is 36. So I'm going to multiply every single term by 36. I know it's ugly. You'll get over it. Now, I'm going to, in the first case, it's, I could write this all out for you, and I would if you were in Algebra 1 class, but you're not. So what it really equals is 36 times that divided by 9. So 36 divided by 9 is 4. So what I've really got here is 4 times whatever's inside the parentheses, x squared plus 2xy plus y squared. I got 4 times that over. It's not over 9 anymore. Never mind, because I got rid of the 9 by dividing it into 36. All right, and I'm going to multiply the xy times 36, because that's going to matter. And I'm going to multiply 36 times this quantity here. And 36 divided by 4, that'll clear the 4, that'll clear the 36 and give me a 9. So what's left is a 9 times x squared minus 2xy plus y squared. All right. And then the last thing is 36 times 3. 30 times 3 is 96 times 3 is 18. 90 plus 18 is 108. So I've got plus, okay, yeah, plus 108 xy. I was running it through my head. Is that right? Okay, 108 xy. There we go. So I've got all this stuff. I probably should have written that in blue. I'll get over it. Now, I'm going to distribute. And at this point, you guys don't need me anymore. I'll continue, and you can fast forward and see if you got the answer right if you like, but I will do it for the sake of completion. Plus 8xy plus 4y squared. There comes a point in every problem when you're like on autopilot, you know, which there'll come a time when you get more excited about the stuff that you have to figure out. It always used to make me very happy when I was in college and I would do this long, insane problem and the answer would be 6. And I'd look in the back of the book and it said 6 and I'd be like, it was a very good day. Sometimes it wasn't 6. I'd get 7 and I'd have to go back and figure out why. 9x squared minus 14xy. That's 18. I'm sorry. 9 times, I can't double think. 18, it's 9 times 2 is 18. It's a positive times a negative. It's a negative. Plus, and you're probably not listening to this anyway, because you probably fast forwarded the answer, and that is awesome. Plus 108xy. Okay, so let me just check my work here. 4x squared plus 8xy plus 4y squared plus 36xy equals 9x squared minus 18xy plus 9y squared plus 108xy. Okay, now you have to combine like terms. You do you. I personally use group. I symbol them. I tell myself so I don't forget stuff. So I know I've got an x squared here, and I know I've got an x squared here, and those are all my x squareds. So that's 13 x squared, and all my x squareds are done. I don't necessarily cross them out, but I just wanted you to see. All right, now I've got some xy's. I think I'll make xy's a rectangle. So xy, 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 xy. Now, that's a lot of xy's. Can I do that? No, I won't do that. All right, so I'm going to add them all together. I've got a positive 8 and a positive 36. A negative 18 and a positive 108. So I'm going to add all those and then I'm going to subtract 18. So what I've got is 2 equals 8, 16. 22 carry the 2, 5. 152 minus 18. And that would be a 12 and a 14. And that would be a 13. And that would be a 4. 134. All right. If I did the math right, and I did because I recognize the answer, it's 134xy. And then what do I have left? I've got I'll make those lightning bolts. I got y squareds. And I only have 2 of them. So I've got 4 plus 9 plus 13 y squared. Yes, it was long. Yes, it was a lot. Yes, I expect you to be able to do it. And yes, you can. That's that. I have to find a faster way to turn these off. I don't have a